Every time we perform an experiment, it's important to know how to use the data to process the data correctly, and you can do that if you know how to use significant figures, because significant figures and the rules in order to apply significant figures are the base in order to get the results in proper way. So in this video, I'm going to show you with an exercise, because there are more videos that you can see in my YouTube about significant figures rules, but in this case we're going to use an exercise to actually apply the rules for significant figures and see them in an experiment. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So I want you to imagine that we have this data, we have these three values for time taken using different stopwatch, and we have this value for distance. So what we're going to do is to calculate the velocity. Okay, we're going to calculate the velocity, or the speed, it's better to say speed, that is defined as distance over time. Okay, so first we're going to find out the average time. Okay, so we're going to find out the average time. To find the average time, we have to sum all the values of time and divide it by the number of data, in this case 3. So we have to add 4.03 seconds plus 4.3 seconds plus 4.125 seconds. Okay, and divide them by 3. And here is when we apply the first rule for significant figures. When you operate, when you add, so when you add, you have to take into account that you have to keep the least precision in the measurements, and in this case the least precision is decided by the least number of decimal places. In this case we have 2 decimal places, 1 decimal place, 3 decimal places. So our answer of the average, it doesn't matter what you get in a calculator, the answer of the average should be with 1 decimal place, okay? By following the rules for significant figures. So I'm just going to do the computing using a calculator. So you can have a calculator, take 4.03 plus 4.3 plus 4.125, then after the addition divided by 3, and the result in my case is 4.1516 periodic, but we're going to round using significant figures to 1 decimal place, so the time is going to be 4.2 seconds. Okay, so remember that if the next number that takes the positional value after the one we want to round is 5 or greater, we're going to take the number greater than 2. We're going to add 1 value in the positional term. So in the tenths here, we're going to add 1 to have 4.2. Okay, this is the basic rounding, because there's another rule in which we can learn more about rounding when we approximate when the number is 5, but we're not going to use this rule so far. Okay, so we have 4.2 as time. Now velocity, speed, is going to be 3.00 meters, that is the distance we have here, divided the time 4.2 seconds. Okay, so now we need to divide, but we need to count how many significant figures we have. So in this case we have 3 significant figures, and here we have just 2 significant figures. Okay, so the answer should have just 2 significant figures. So again, I'm going to take my calculator. 3 divided and I got 0.7226, more numbers there, 0.7226, okay, 0, and there are more numbers. But our answer should have two significant figures. So remember that this 0, you can see another video about significant figures. Here is a 0 to the left of the decimal point, so we don't count it as significant. The two significant figures will be these two. Look at that, in this point this is 2, so the 2 does not change the 72 to 73. So the velocity, the speed will be 0.72 meters per second. Okay? And this is how you can apply significant figures when you have a situation, okay? Let's say that this could be an experiment. We checked it 3 times. So in order to round the average, we need to use rules for significant figures. And then if we want to calculate the speed, sometimes in an experiment we have distance and time. So we need the slope. So we did it with the speed. Then using the speed, we can have the number of significant figures properly. Okay, so this is how you solve situations using significant figures. I hope that you understand how to use it. If you have any question, send me a comment. If you like it, please like, subscribe to my YouTube if you feel that this was important for you and you can learn more physics and math. And I'll see you in the next video. So just remember that in order to apply significant figures, we need to follow the rules for operating significant figures. And it's very useful in exercises. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.